You are pushing him away without even realizing it. A lot of these things are done subconsciously by habit, and you won't realize until it's too late. Men have a number of primary love needs, being trust, acceptance, appreciation, admiration, approval, and encouragement. The first one that you need to stop doing, which goes against these primary love needs, is offering him unsolicited advice. Let me give you an example. Let's say he's calling you from work and he is really stressed. A business deal has just fallen through and he is telling you about this. You could use option 1 and go into your masculine energy, and you could say, oh my gosh, baby, this is the worst thing ever. Why don't you ring that guy that you were telling me about last night? Perhaps he could speak to your client and he could fix the deal. Or perhaps you could call him again and blah, 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 blah. What I'm saying is you go into problem solving mode. This is not why he is calling you. And when you do this, he is going to be very frustrated with you. You see, men are logical thinkers. They want to exercise their logical thinking skills to solve problems on their own, especially when they are in front of you, in a hope to impress you and show you that they are capable. Men want to feel like the man. They want you to trust them enough to let them solve their own problems alone. So instead, you could go into your feminine energy and you could use option 2, and you could say, don't worry, baby. You always figure things out. I believe in you. You've got this. If this deal doesn't work out and it cannot be fixed, then it wasn't meant to be. And there's a bigger deal waiting for you. There are so many times when it's looked like you were failing, but you've always ended up on top because you're a winner. You will always win. He's now going to feel reassured. The reason that he called you was not for work advice. He knows good and well how to do his job. The reason why he called you was because he was looking for that support from his #1 cheerleader to lift his mood, to make him feel capable, to make him feel like a winner. Think about it. If he wanted work advice, wouldn't he ring a colleague? Wouldn't he ring someone who was involved in the business that could offer him some actual business insider information that could rectify his situation? The reason why he's taken time out of his busy day is to get your support. Unless he asks for your advice, sometimes it's best to just zip it and say nothing. So no matter how helpful you think that you are being, sometimes it's best to say nothing. He will get frustrated with you because he's going to think that you think he can't do his job, when in reality, he knows he can do his job. And it's going to frustrate him more because he's going through a small, tiny little blip where things are not going his way. You need to step in and just be that positive energy and reassuring person in his life, that #1 cheerleader. The second thing is not acknowledging what he does do for you and complaining a lot about what he doesn't do for you. Let me give you an example. Let's say your partner has been really busy at work and normally he buys you flowers and takes you on a date night. And he manages to come home and take you on a date night. However, he hasn't brought you any flowers. You could use option 1 and you could go into your masculine energy and you could say, well, where are my flowers? What's the point? You obviously don't care. You obviously don't love me. And then you could just sit there at the dinner and be miserable and start sulking, ruining the entire evening. When you do this, you are just focusing so much on what he hasn't done, but you're not appreciating the things that he is doing for you. So when you say that, he's going to feel deflated. He's going to feel like all of his efforts have gone unnoticed and underappreciated. If you start sulking and crying and ruining the evening, it's going to discourage him from making any type of effort again, because he's not going to know whether or not this is going to be sufficient for you. And all of his existing efforts have been completely unacknowledged. Or you could use option 2, and you could enter your feminine energy. And you could say, baby, thank you so much for booking this beautiful date. I love it when you take the time out of your day to find these beautiful restaurants to take me to. It makes me feel so loved and adored and special. I know you're busy at work at the moment, but I just wanted to say that I really appreciate all your efforts, and all of your efforts do not go unnoticed. When you use option 2, he is going to melt. He might even start to feel a little bit guilty about not getting you the flowers. But what this is doing is celebrating the behavior that you want to see more of. I promise you, when you start to talk to him like this and you say things like this to him, he's going to desperately look for ways in which he can make your life easier and make you feel adored and make you feel special and make you feel loved. Think about it. When someone thinks that they are good at something, they naturally want to do more of it. The last one that I am going to share with you is so common, but honestly, it throws off the energy in your relationship. And this is when he makes a decision, you complain and criticize and correct this decision. So you're trying to change it in some way. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are both driving in the car, you have your Google Maps on, and he is driving. You are in the passenger seat, being a passenger princess, and you are looking at the maps and it looks as if he's about to take the wrong turn, and he ends up taking this wrong turn. You could go into your masculine energy and you could use option 1, and you could say, that was the wrong turn. Why did you do that? Oh, I knew that I should have driven. I know exactly how to get there. I know exactly the way, and now you've just added so much time onto the journey. Why did you do that? Are you even looking at the directions? When you say this, you are going into your masculine energy because you are going into problem solving mode. That's not your problem. You are not driving. It is not your responsibility. Let him take ownership of his problems. Let him take ownership of his actions. By not letting him deal with this on his own, he's going to think that you do not trust his judgment, or you do not trust him to lead you both in life. Because if you cannot sit back and allow him to follow some simple instructions, then how can you trust him to lead you in this relationship and make decisions on behalf of you both when he needs to? Or you could enter your feminine energy and you could say nothing. Let him figure this out on his own. I mean, perhaps he was taking a shortcut. Maybe if he took this direction instead of the one on the maps, now you save 10 minutes from your destination. Or perhaps he did take the wrong turn. And if so, so be it. That's fine. He's a big boy. I promise you, he can figure it out on his own. Just relax and enjoy the journey. Remember, when a man loves you and he is making decisions on behalf of you both, he is making these decisions with your best interest at heart. He loves you. He wants to protect you. He wants to put you in the safest environments, and he wants you to be happy. So when you criticize his decisions in any way, it's going to make him feel like you don't really trust him. Think about it. If you're intervening at such a minor inconvenience, then how is he meant to make the bigger decisions on behalf of you both without your judgment and your criticism and questioning the decisions that he's made? If you feel like you are watching this and you are getting a bit frustrated because you think, oh, well, my partner, he's just so incompetent, and a lot of the time I do need to take the lead, and yes, it's frustrating, then perhaps you are not with the right person. For you to be in your feminine energy, you need a man who is competent, who can make decisions. And honestly, if you do not trust him, then how can you raise a family with him? How can you go through all of life's turmoil that it will throw at you? How can you go through marriage? How can you go through the families meeting? How can you go through in sickness and in health? Almost every life experience when you are in a couple is so much better when you are with a competent man. Trust me. So that is a wrap for today's episode. If you liked this episode, please make sure to subscribe and like, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you do end up trying any of these, please let me know. So until next time, mwah, I love you. Bye.